Psychology says people who hate crowded places aren't avoiding people at all. Their brain is doing something completely different, something deeper, more complex, and far more fascinating than most people ever realize. You walk into a busy street, a mall, a noisy gathering, or a packed room. Suddenly, your chest tightens, your senses sharpen. Your brain starts scanning everything around you. You don't feel unsafe, but you don't feel comfortable either. It feels like your mind is being pulled in 20 directions at once. Most people assume this reaction means you're antisocial, shy, or withdrawn. But psychology says this response is actually a sign of a unique mind-to-mind that works deeper, faster, and more intensely than the average person. Let's break down what's really happening inside your brain. Point 1. Heightened sensory processing. The deep mind at work. Many people who dislike crowded places have what psychology calls high sensory processing, sensitivity. This doesn't mean you're weak. It means your nervous system operates like a high-resolution camera, taking in far more detail than most people ever notice. Where others hear background noise, you hear layers, multiple conversations, footsteps speeding up or slowing down, sudden movements, changes in lighting, emotional tones in people's voices, even energy shifts in a room. Your brain collects all of this at once. And because your senses are sharper, your mind processes the environment with intense detail that other people mentally filter out without even realizing it. So when you avoid crowds, you're not escaping people, you're protecting your mind from sensory overload, the mental equivalent of too many browser tabs open at once. It's a sign your brain wasn't designed for chaos, it was designed for depth. To stronger personal space boundary. The invisible bubble. Have an invisible bubble around them called personal space. Psychology calls this field the science of physical boundaries and comfort zones. People who dislike crowded places often have a larger personal space bubble, a more sensitive boundary system, a stronger alert response when someone enters their space. When too many people get too close, your brain sends a signal, not fear, just discomfort. It's the constant unpredictability of strangers bumping, brushing past, stopping suddenly. That constant invasion triggers tension. Your brain isn't saying, I don't like people. Your brain is saying, I like space to think. It prefers environments where you can breathe, observe, move freely, and stay aware without being invaded every 2 seconds. This isn't avoidance, it's psychological. Self-preservation. 3. Crowds create heavy cognitive load. The brain drain effect. Crowded environments force your brain to track multiple things simultaneously. Where people are moving, who might bump into you, sudden noises, visual chaos, exits pathways, voices layered over other voices. Your brain works overtime to predict movement and avoid collisions. This creates cognitive load, a type of mental pressure that drains your energy fast. Deep thinkers, introverts, and highly sensitive individuals experience this much more intensely. Why? Because your brain analyzes the world in high definition. You don't just see what's happening, you interpret it, evaluate it, and connect it to patterns. That means crowded places force your brain into a high alert processing mode that uses a huge amount of mental energy. You're not overwhelmed by people, you're overwhelmed by processing everything at once for the need for control, survival. Psychology at play. Crowded places remove your sense of control. Movements are unpredictable. Noise comes from all directions. You don't have control over your space. Exits are harder to see. Things can change instantly. Survival psychology tells us that humans feel safe when they can predict their environment. People who dislike crowds have a stronger instinct for stability. Their brain automatically stays more alert, scanning for escape routes, sudden movement, environmental changes. Emotional tension, possible threats. Isn't fear. This is awareness. It's your mind's way of saying, I need to remain in control of my surroundings to feel comfortable. And guess what? That instinct is ancient. It comes from the same survival wiring that kept humans alive for thousands of years. Your brain simply hasn't shut off that gift. 5. You notice what others miss. The deep observer. Trait psychology links crowd avoidance to a set of strengths often found in highly perceptive individuals. Strong observational skills, high emotional intelligence, intense pattern recognition, deep levels of empathy, a rich inner world, long-term focus. Intuition that picks up on subtle cues. Crowded places interrupt your clarity. They disrupt your ability to think deeply, observe calmly, or stay in tune with your environment. People with this type of mind work best in environments where they can absorb information intentionally, not chaotically. In other words, your brain prefers depth over noise, insight over overload, meaning over distraction. You're not avoiding crowds because you're fragile. You're avoiding crowds because you process the world too deeply, too accurately, and too intensely for chaotic environments. This is not a weakness. This is a form of intelligence. 6. Emotional contagion. You absorb energy. Quickly ever walk into a crowded place and instantly feel the emotional atmosphere? That's called emotional contagion, and people with high sensitivity experience it more intensely in a crowd. You may subconsciously absorb stress, frustration, excitement, tension, anxiety, irritation, restlessness, Brain feels everything happening around you as if it's happening to you. Crowded places become a storm of unfiltered emotions. And your mind can't deactivate that radar. It's not that you dislike people. Your emotional system is simply too open, to empathetic, too connected. You feel what others feel, Evan. If you didn't want 2.7 noise, sensitivity, and subconscious stress, most people hear noise. You hear signals, your brain automatically analyzes. Volume shifts, sudden sounds, movement patterns, conversations blending into chaos frequencies that others ignore. This creates subconscious stress. Your body may release adrenaline, making your muscles tense, your breathing shallower, and your awareness heightened. This isn't anxiety, this is sensory intelligence. Crowded places are loud not just for the ears but for the brain. Your mind prefers environments where the noise doesn't fight for your attention every second. 8. Introverted brain versus the extroverted world. Modern society is designed for extroverts, busy places, loud environments, constant movement, social stimulation. But introverted or highly sensitive brains work differently. They recharge alone. They think deeply before reacting. They observe before engaging. They prioritize meaning over noise. They need calm to function at their best. Crowded places drain them because their brain processes more, not less. It's not social avoidance, it's neurological preference. Your brain craves spaces where your thoughts can breathe. 9. The strengths behind crowd avoidance. Here's the part people never talk about. Avoiding crowded places is linked to some of the strongest psychological traits, including higher self-awareness. You know what environments support your mental balance. Better emotional regulation. You retreat before your emotions overload. Advanced intuition. You sense atmosphere, tone, and energy instantly. Long-term focus. You think deeply, plan carefully, and process information with clarity. Superior pattern recognition. You notice details others overlook, making you highly analytical. Natural independence. You don't require constant stimulation to feel fulfilled. These aren't weaknesses. These are rare advantages. Your mind is wired to see the world with more depth. Crowded places simply interrupt that gift. 10. You're not strange. You're wired differently. So if crowds drain your energy, if noise overwhelms you, if unpredictable environments make you tense, if you feel more comfortable in quiet, open, controlled spaces, you're not broken, you're not antisocial, you're not too sensitive. Your brain is wired for depth, awareness, precision, intuition, clarity, emotional intelligence, not chaos. And once you understand this, everything about your personality starts to make sense.